Hi guys, my name is Sabrina and welcome back to my channel. I don't know if the title of this video is going to be correct, but that's what I've been calling it actually since I've made it, and I hope it makes sense. So I'd say without any further ado, let's get on to the video. So my heart's girl, as I called her, the time when I made this, I wasn't quite sure what to draw. I knew I wanted to draw something, and usually when I'm trying to push something out on purpose, when I'm not necessarily having something specific in mind, it doesn't always work. So when I made her, I had an idea of what I wanted to do. I wanted to draw a girl in an oversized sweater, and I thought the idea would just look so extremely adorable. But when I started with her head, I realized that I had a bit of trouble when it came to her hair, and I just had zero inspiration on how to do it. And for the longest of times, I just wasn't sure how I should make it flow and what I should do. And then of course comes that one stroke and you're like, hey, I could actually do something with this. This would actually look quite nice. And that's why when you see me working on the sketch, you see me working with red lines. And when I use red or even blue in a drawing, it's to try and create something that I want to create, but that is different than the underlying layer. So that's what I was trying to do there. And it worked this time, so I'm quite happy with the end result there. I'm really liking how the hair flowed and just the whole thing, how it looks. So yeah, that really worked in my advantage this time. I did find that her hands were a bit more tricky to make this time. I wanted to have her blow a kiss to like the audience basically, and they're not perfect. I had in mind how I had to draw them, but they were a bit more tricky than I thought they would be. So when I started drawing this, I came across another little issue, and that was the issue of my marker that I used for shading feeling and looking quite empty. So I looked at the tip, and the tip looks very patchy, and I've seen this before, it's not new. And I realized, oh sugar, if I don't fill this marker up right now, or at least a little, then I'm going to have an issue with it. Then I cannot continue drawing with it, and the shading will just look really, really bad. And I did not want that to happen. I really like the color scheme of this drawing that I've chosen, so I had to refill it right there and then. So I had to cut a bit of the clip out there. But yeah, I was sitting over here at my desk and I was like, oh no, I know I'm recording and I know I have to refill this marker literally right now before I can do anything else. So yeah, sometimes that happens too, and you know, you just have to deal with it. And how I refill my marker is I hold them at an angle and I take the cap off from the chisel tip, and then I drip the marker onto the chisel tip and then leave it on that angle. And I usually do about 30 drops. And I've recently seen something by Copic that I think they've made a new refill, well, not system, but like how those bottles look, it looks different. I don't know if they contain less than they do. They kind of looked smaller than the current ones, so I'm not sure if they changed the size. I hope they don't, because like there's quite a bit in here right now, so I hope there's the same amount in there. But they removed the brush or the chisel tip side. Either one you can remove. And I don't have the right tweezers for them. When I remove them, I literally squeeze them, so I like will break it, and I've almost broken one part of it, and I don't remember which marker that was. Maybe that was the marker that I've tried to use for shading. But yeah, and then they basically filled the marker by squeezing the alcohol ink in there. So that is something maybe I should invest in those tweezers to get the brush tips off, because that would be making my life a whole lot simpler than how I just did it. And how I just did it took forever. So my idea was to give her a nice darker skin tone, and with the really lovely blush that I've been using. And I'm growing to like that one more and more. I really like this color scheme a lot right now. And I've been all over the place with this drawing. So I did start with the skin tone because that's where I kind of always usually start. But then I was like, well, let's do her socks as well. And like they're really long, tall socks that come way over her knees, as you can see. So that was kind of my idea there. I really wanted to have a very cozy feeling there, but still very cute at the same time. So I don't know why I started with the socks first before anything else, but that's what I felt like. I kind of felt like going all over the place. I was like, no, I want to do this, and I'm going to do this my way this time instead of how I tend to do it. So on that note, I continued on the background, and that is not something I usually start with or have that at the beginning of my drawing. But I was like, there's so much green and so much leaves in there, or so many leaves in there, where I was like, no, I need to do this now, or it will literally drive me crazy, because sometimes I'm just a little bit impatient and I don't want to get impatient at all. And I just have a lovely idea for this. So in the same note as the leaves, I really love the color. It's a bit of a lighter color that I've used this time. So I think I've used one of the lightest greens that I have. And I don't regret it at all. I really, really like the color, and it brightens it up a little. I do wonder in hindsight if I should make like more like another block behind her and just fill that in with like a plain color. So no outlines, just a plain color block behind her, maybe in blue or something, like a light blue. I think that would have been nice too. I think that might have finished the drawing just a bit more than just this. So maybe I'll do that next time. That might be a good idea. I have another drawing that I think I can do that with. So once that was done, I wanted her to have the same eye color as the leaves. And I really think that her eye color right now pops. It pops because her skin is a bit darker and the eyes are so extremely light. And I just love that look. I really think that is so gorgeous. And for the, well, I want to say hearts. They're kind of hearts there, and they're kind of meant to be like a little flowers as well. And I don't know why I did that. This should have kind of been a Valentine's drawing, I suppose, but I ended up not using it for Valentine, though I did share the line art on my social media pages for Valentine's Day. So if you're interested, head down to my social media pages. I'll leave the links down in the description box below, and you can download that so you can color it in yourself. And if you want to tag me in my social media when you've done coloring it in, absolutely, please do. I would love to see your creations and what you make of that. So let me know, that'd be great. So you can get the line art right there. And yeah, I didn't end up using this for Valentine's Day because I made this like the evening before and I didn't have enough time to upload the video for actual Valentine's Day. So that's why it's coming out now and not on Valentine's Day. I just have so many other things to do, sorry guys. And after that, I did her hair, and I did not envision her as a blonde. I really wanted her to have dark hair, and I think that looks really, really nice. I'm quite happy with that. And for her oversized sweater, I already had something in mind. I kind of already had the entire color scheme in mind, really. So the basics were, I want her to have a light pink sweater, and everything goes around that. So I think with the skin color being a bit darker, I think it will look really nice. I think if the skin color would have been light or really light, I don't think it would have looked as nice. I think I should have done another sweater then, but yeah, I'm really, really happy with how this turned out and how I used the colors here and how the shading worked. So I'm quite happy with how that turned out as well. So yay, everything falling into place. So that's really nice when that happens. And I use some darker, it's kind of like a red as well. They're kind of red shades, but they look pink. I used the darkest one for adding in additional shadow areas. So the creases and everything, I want to make sure those are a bit darker too. So here we are, guys, the end of my video, and this is the end result of my drawing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button down below and let me know what you think. Thank you, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.